Hey guys, welcome back. So, if you remember watching my video on why Last Man failed miserably, and that is the only information, only knowledge you have that that show ever existed, congratulations. You did not waste your life watching this nonsense because the show was utterly horrible. Utterly horrible. It was cancelled before its first season even ended, and they went out to look for a new home for Why the Last Man, and now here we are with that show having completely been buried and dead now. And before I get into it, let me just say, as I mentioned before, I had read some of Why the Last Man, not the whole thing. I read some of it. I thought it was a really interesting idea and concept where some cataclysmic event causes every male human, animal, whatever, with a Y chromosome to die, all except for one man, Yorick, and his pet male monkey, Ampersand. Now, the book followed their journey, and the books, I should say, it was a comic series, followed their journey, and it was interesting to see how that played out. The show, however, went a completely different route and screwed itself completely over. They introduced a character in the show, which is Sam, who's a transgender man. Basically, a transgender man is a woman who identifies as a man and takes hormones and things to look like a man. None of that was in the comic, but they insisted on shoving that in. They threw in a whole bunch of political nonsense. They made the show very unlikable from start to finish. It was an utter woke nightmare. It was cancelled on the 7th episode, if I believe, never to see the light of day again. They went out hoping to get other people to sign on, and now here we are. So let's see what this has here, an article from Deadline. Why the Last Man Showrunner admits defeat in getting new platform for cancelled TV show. Cancelled supposed to have two L's? Anyway, whatever. For fans of Why the Last Man, well, all 10 of them, it's truly the end of their world. 10 people, whatever. Showrunner Eliza Clark has posted that the dystopian drama hasn't been able to find new distribution. For those of you who have been asking me, we tried really hard to get another platform to pick up season 2 of Why, Clark wrote on Twitter. But sadly, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. It is always incredibly difficult to move a show, and in recent years, it has only gotten harder. Oh, yeah, the show was cancelled in October by FX on Hulu a few weeks before its season 1 finale. At that time, Clark wrote, "I have never in my life been more committed to a story. And there is so much left to tell, we don't want it to end." The tweet she put out about it. Now, this in no way surprises me at all. But the fact that you can't even get any network to pick it up, I mean, not even Netflix, and Netflix will put out any shit. Literally any shit Netflix will put out, which is probably one of the reasons why their ratings and stuff in the toilet, but they will put out anything. And even they didn't want it. So that is to tell you how bad this show really is, the concept and everything. Because rather than make a good show, rather than focus on what people wanted to see, You pushed identity politics. You pushed feminism. You pushed wokeness. You pushed a whole bunch of confusing transgender women have Y chromosomes too, or all kind of absolute rhetoric garbage you pushed. And it didn't work at all. Nobody was interested, nobody cared, nobody wanted to see any of this. Like I said, probably had 10 people who watch Y. I mean, even Cowboy Bebop over on the live action Cowboy Bebop over on Netflix, which was also another pack of nonsense, but they have started a petition to get that show renewed. I think they're up to like 100,000 signatures by now or something. I really hope they don't do that. But anyway, they have started a petition for that, but nobody cares enough to do anything for Y. Why? Because it's nonsense. You don't know how to properly craft stories, characters, anything anymore. Absolutely nothing. You push these feminine agendas into these shows without building the characters up to make them good. You just expect people to support it because, one, there are women in it, two, the LGBT stuff they're shoving in because the alphabet people must be there to say A, B, and C. And then you expect that if you just make a completely horrible show, people should support it because of that. You're not making anything good. I was actually having a conversation with somebody a few days ago, and we were discussing the differences in it. And what the person said, and this is why it's good to talk among people sometimes to get information. What the person said is that when it comes to this show, it comes to shows in the Western Hemisphere, like Y and it, they're being completely obliterated by the Asian market. And it's true if you look over in the Asian market. I mean, if you look at anime, for instance, this was something people years ago didn't even care about, or like now it's dominating. Anime, manga dominating, and they keep trying to make these live action things that are a complete mess, but the anime itself is dominating over there. You have titles like Black Clover, My Hero Academia. You always have a new Dragon Ball coming out, and whether you like it or don't like it, it's entertaining. People watch it. You have Demon Slayer, and a whole host of others that people are really actually interested in, despite Western culture trying to have a problem with it. But if you look also in the Korean market, you will see that their shows are heads and toes and feet and levels above anything that is being produced in the Western Hemisphere. You have shows like Squid Game, Alice in Borderland, this other one that they did with some people, and I think it was Bloodhunt or something like that. I can't remember the exact name, but something like that. When I get it, I'll put it up. But things like that, where you have excellent written characters, gripping storylines, interesting things that you can immerse yourself into, and you don't push this thing of trying to push this feminist agenda, saying that okay, we have to put a woman in the lead role to have someone. No, there are female characters that stand on their own. They make it abundant that they are important to the show. They are a vital element, and they're getting it done. And these shows are becoming very popular. Meanwhile, you get nonsense like this, and everybody's supposed to be okay. Well, let's just enjoy it and watch it because. Y failed miserably as a show, as a concept, as an idea, as anything even remotely entertainment. It wasn't. The fact that it's no longer coming out anywhere because no one gets it, so the showrunner has to admit defeat. Yeah, I mean, I watched Y the Last Man out of curiosity, but once I saw the trailer, I knew it was going to be bad. I watched it out of curiosity, and I couldn't wait for that thing to be over. It was total garbage. The characters were horrible. The setting was ridiculous. The storyline that they chose to follow, absolute tatter, and they just kept pushing it. So this is what we get. Nobody wants it anymore. Why The Last Man is officially dead and gone. And I mean, I'll say again, if even Netflix don't want you, that's saying something. You want to admit defeat, you better just bury it and never speak of it again. As usual, if you like my videos, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments how you feel about it, and anything else you want me to cover. I will see you all in the next video. Take care.